somehow. But probably pre-mix the flour and the water. So I'm gonna clean up the bucket inside the bathtub and start, So I think one of the main ingredients to glue is actually flour, 1/4 flour, it's just more flour, salt, sugar. So it's got to be like really, to making glue. I could use, just some more really old baking items. But I gotta go through my notes. I gotta write those down. But I will be making a whole video about trying to make a glue, a bucket with a lid, and and to make it waterproof, I actually add oil or some type. I gotta research a few things, get some measuring systems going, and this old pancake syrup. So I'm gonna combine all this stuff, and I'm pretty sure when people just to get into trying to experiment using this old, I already kind of like threw out like one bottle already, so I need to reuse this. So my place is a little bit cluttered up, but that's muriatic or spirit oil, mineral oil. So just show you guys, kind of like I have a little bucket. Just the situation, I think, DIY situation, putting jars and chemicals into a bucket so that things could be more organized. And then this is what I kind of pulled out of the bucket. This is the Elmer's, like, it's a really strong glue adhesive. It's more like a wood glue. And then it's got acetone, which is in that jar. Is to funnel out whatever I have in there and kind of look in there, and then I want to put this syrup inside the acetone and try to break that down. That's going to be pretty much the glue is going to take for the best glue, it's going to take milk. I also need gelatin and all types of stuff, but or what I could do, instead of mixing the syrup, which is that stuff, I could just try to keep this Elmer's glue, which I should be doing. This Elmer's glue, I could have kept it in there and then just see if it breaks down, but actually, I'm poking at this Elmer's glue and how it's in the bottle. I don't think I'm going to even like be able to work with it as is, compared to using the pancake syrup for now and stuff like that. Even the pancake syrup is in a bottle, so I'm not sure if I should use the pancake syrup. Most of the so this stuff in here is rubber. It's basically dried glue after a long time being stored away. I can't soften it up as I would think might be wasted. I thought the lemon vinegar, and then oil, you heat all that stuff up, and so I kind of put my notes kind of like in this area. We got batteries and solar panels, motor winding. Then this is kind of like some of the sugar, so it's got to have and the bottom part is actually the waterproof glue. So there's two different, fill it up with new water. Okay, so I just dumped whatever I have in there, just because some of the water was might be saturated with some of the gelatin. Then in some of my DIY craft stuff, I found some aquarium salt. And I'm not going to mix this in right away with aquarium salt. What I'm going to do is actually stick with some type of recipe formula. I might mix this with the spirit oil in the jar. But what I can mix this with is actually water. So let me pour some water in there. So got some clean filtered water. And then I'm just going to pour just just probably 50% for now. So just add some water. And then I could probably figure out the rest of the ingredients. So put the water back and fill it up. Elmer's if I wanted to, but it's really rubbery. So I want some type of a more fluid glue. So I put the lid back on that, leave the salt there, and then bring this to where the pancake syrup is. And I just kind of wash this bucket lid. Put the bucket lid there. Put the bucket of glue kind of like right there. I could have brought in the bottle of water also, but kind of double check where I put my recipe, which I put the bucket lid. So I got the flour, so 3 tablespoons so I'm gonna actually throw in some white vinegar, lemon juice, and 1 liter of water. So that wasn't a lot of water. I could actually add some more, but for now I'm gonna just add sugar and vinegar. I don't know if that makes any sense, but if I could add, I mean, instead of the vinegar, I was thinking of adding the acetone, but I'm gonna save that. Just the sugar and then the vinegar. So I bought a bunch of vinegar a while ago, and I found some brush cleaner right there. So I bought like 2 gallons of this stuff. It was on sale or whatnot. So I'm just gonna put enough in there for now. It's gonna break down. You know, I could have really used the. So this flour is really fluid and stuff. So I could have really used the salt. I think I'm gonna add the salt also. But the salt recipe, I'm supposed to heat it up, and I might even add some oil. So the bottom section with the salt, milk, oil of clove, that's supposed to be heated up and warmed up and stuff. Maybe I could leave it in the sun for a day and then mix it up, which would be okay. So sugar, it was actually a really small amount of oil, vinegar, lemon juice, baking soda. I can probably add some baking soda just to give it more chemicals or something. But I think I'm going to just add a good amount, a decent amount of this cleaner oil. You can see there's like vinegar, and it just wasn't a lot. It's just some. So I got pretty much to mix this up a little bit with all the other stuff. It's going to be a really crazy mix, and the last thing I need is the sugar, and then I'm going to rinse the bottle out with the syrup and the sugar and things. Smells all up. It's got like different. So I might put this stuff into my bucket, which is right here. It's got all this empty space. I could actually use old oil. I'm not even, this is expires 2024. It's a lot of oil. So, and then I got the salt. So of my ingredients, just use half of it. So I got the salt right there going in there. Just use half of whatever I have. It's only $2.99 a salt, but so it's a little bit. That oil is kind of like the main situation at this point. Pretty much 3 tablespoons is probably 3 shakes. I probably use the rest of this baking soda box. So I'm not sure if I even needed it, but yeah. So let's go ahead and mix this up. Maybe it will actually work with the salt more nice. So just from that batch of pancakes, and then using all these other ingredients so now it's time to add the sugar, which is some past due pancake syrup. So I got the cap off of that, and then I might be able to, well, yeah, I'm just add pancake syrup and then rinse off the bottle. Put some clean detergent in there, but and then mix it all up. Just give it a little bit more fluid and, you know, really nice pancake bottle. I could screw off the cap on this one. I could actually stir it up a little bit before adding the rinsed out sugar. Kind of letting everything drip out and then mix it up. So I kind of mixed it up, starting to slowly. So this spoon and this bucket is working really good for something like this. It's really runny. It's really runny stuff of the control, and the rest of the ingredients is just trying to make it more waterproof. So I'm going to check with this glue. There's like a sometimes vinegar, and so I'm just trying to check to see what's happening with this. The oil seems to be floating on the surface. A lot on the surface. It kind of smells a little bit. So it's been a day and a half. So I want to see if it's sticky or actually put in some type of extract oil, I guess they call it. I'm not 100% sure. But I just had this sitting around, peace and calming. It smells like pine. So it does make, but it just totally smells like curry, a little bit of different stuff. So I'm gonna pour, well, it's really not that much of this stuff in there anyways, but maybe it dried up or something. Or I do have some other stuff, but it's really not that. I don't want to add soap or, you know, just things. What I'm going to do now is weigh this. Here's a little small vial of, this is like orange. Doesn't really smell that good, but there's actually a lot of stuff in there. So what I'm going to do now is use this digital scale. I'm going to put it right here, on off, and then I'm going to just put this plastic bucket, and then I'm going to try to zero it if I can. I'm holding down 0. Oh, it just turned off. Okay, now it's at 0. So I guess I turn it on when it's 0. So now it's at 0. Can't really see it because the glare. And then I'm just going to put the bucket that I have in this. So I guess it's going to. So this stuff just doesn't smell that right to me. I'm not even sure like what I put in it to make it smell. So this is around 7 pounds. So pretty much 7 pounds. I'll just guess it's like flour. But I would actually, if it were 7 pounds, I would actually need 14 pounds of sugar to turn this into a glue. It's not really good. 14 pounds. What I can also do is actually use one of these large tubes of glue. I would rather just add flour and sugar. So got the rest of, or I got the flour, I guess. I don't really, I mean, I would, you know, sometimes, you know,